Well, hello everybody. It is Make Me Day+2. I kind of figured it was important just to kind of get all of this data on masking and restrictions and all that other stuff in one happy little video presentation place. So this is Make Me Day+2, and this is Ending the COVID Psychosis with Data. Sub question mark. How much data do the screamers need? Well, here's what we're going to do. We'll find out. So, the scientific method involves a 4-step process. Step 1 is you got a theory. Step 2 is you design an experiment to test that theory. And step 3 is you test and you collect the data. Step 4, discount the theory if the data fails to validate the theory and revisit the process. Of course, in God we trust. All others, send data. That's what this is about. So, here's the theory. And it was March 16th, 2020. It was over 225 days ago. My, how time flies, especially when you're engaged in science abuse. So, 15 days to flatten the curve. And lockdowns, social distancing, and masks would work to reduce infections. All right? That's the theory. And of course, we were seeing all sorts of graphs, such as this one. This is from March 17th, extolling the wisdoms and the virtues of flattening the curve and canceling events and self-quarantining and whatnot and so forth. And so you have the pink version of this chart, which says, here's what's going to happen if we do nothing. And then you have the gray version of, here's what happens when we flatten the curve through A, B, C, and D, and whatever. Of course, we have more weaponized hypothesis here. The R0 number, R0, as it were, 2 to 2.5. Obviously, mathematically, by the time you reach day 15, you've kind of lost control of it pretty much. So that's also, and this is from the CDC, World Health Organization, whatever. So not my numbers, not my data. I didn't collect the data. All I can do is just show you the data that they collected. And that's what we're going to do. Of course, doing a lot of models. And it was, this model is saying, if we do nothing, this is what's going to happen. And we have blue language saying, if we just implement it one day later and all sorts, and there's going to be all these other cases. And of course, this is... This was the theory. This is what we're working with. This is what we were told. Now, are we ready for the experiment yet? Are we? Anybody want to see the data? The hypothesis was these measures were necessary, and it would work, and that social distancing would work, and it would reduce transmission, and it was also that masks would reduce transmission. So, it was the theory, okay? Still actually is. It's still the theory, but, let's see what happens when we actually, run the data. So here's the Connecticut baseline, all right? This is from the CDC. This is from the infallible of the infallibles. It has come from the ivory tower from on high. Are you ready? Okay, this is where you got your lockdown back when, things were still ramping up a little bit. And of course, you got your masks when things were ramping down. Notice what has happened. This is from January 22nd, 2020, all the way to February 10th this year. Okay? The masks didn't go away. Take a good look around. Okay? The restrictions didn't go away. Did you see what everything did? Now, I know some people are going to say, well, is this one guy or this one group or this one super spreader event or whatever. Well, we'll get to your theory and we'll see if it washes. All right, this is New Jersey. That's where New Jersey implemented the masks. Do you see it? It's in red. There's an arrow. That's when it happened. They were one of the first, okay? And Hawaii. They were one of the first too. See where that arrow is? I'm kind of noticing a bunch of annoying data subsequent in time that... oh, and actually they did have an outdoor mask mandate too. Right there, July 7th. So April 20th, it didn't reverse any trend that was already ongoing, and the outdoor mask mandate, well, that just didn't seem to flatten the curve, did it? And everybody's going to say every state's different, yada yada, whatever. Let's go through it, shall we? New York City, the big masked apple. You see that? April 17th. Boy, how's that curve look? You can't exactly say it was affecting the downward trend because you implemented after the downward trend had happened. Same thing, Los Angeles versus Sweden. Looks like there's a bit of correlation here, and it looks like all of these things that didn't seem to result in the desired outcome. It is what it is. All right, let's try Israel versus Sweden. You like that? Sweden, of course, should be a casket by now, according to the Screamers last year. Israel, look at all that stuff they're doing. And it's not, in a best case scenario, it's having no effect. In an opposite case scenario, it's having the opposite of the intended effect, isn't it? Stupid is, as Kentucky ignored the data as well. You see that? They got a mask mandate July 9th. They extended it August 7th. They extended it again September 10th, even though it still wasn't working. They extended it at October 6th. How dumb do you have to be to think this is acceptable to do? Of course, don't cry, masked Argentina. Clearly, April 14th, it didn't seem to put a dent in the trend at all. That curve is called parabolic, my friends. Okay, let's compare Connecticut to Malawi. All right, total death-wise, obviously just bear in mind, infections happen first, hospitalizations follow, and then deaths follow. This is the end result. This is, the baked into the cake thing. So Malawi is, they've rejected lockdowns, they've rejected masks, they eat ivermectin like Pez, they have to, the water's pretty bad over there, and that's why they do it. So the results speak for themselves. 3.6 dead per 100,000 compared to Connecticut's 190. I mean, come on. I thought we did everything right. And then there's Connecticut versus Malawi, Sweden, and South Dakota, because I'm mean like that. And Sweden has pulled off 0 days of infection. Those 0 days are great. I mean, if only we could just do what Sweden did, because we could be there. But I asked too much, let's add New York to the mix, shall we? Fauci's golden child for haha effect. And of course, doing so well that, I don't know. But hey, this is the data from the Screamers. I didn't go out and collect this, they did. So here we are. Inescapable conclusions. The masks did nothing helpful. The lockdowns did nothing helpful. The sector rules and restrictions did nothing helpful. The hypothesis, accordingly, was wrong. And COVID-19 sailed past all of our safety theater toward herd immunity and has run rampant through the population. By these numbers, let's just say everyone got the shot. It would be impossible to tell if the shot had even worked. So, of course, the data is very much in. You're not going to kill or endanger anyone by not wearing a mask in and of itself. And if you think you are at this point and you've watched this and you've seen the data, then you need mental help. You really do. Of course, the special hours and sector rules and capacity limits, they failed to do as they were sold and intended. And the theory that lockdowns, masks, and restrictions would stop the spread or, quote, flatten the curve, end quote, was provably wrong. Okay? You saw the data yourself. If anything, these measures have made the case for the conclusion that they made COVID worse, and dangerously so. Okay, it's one thing if you go out and do something and you say it's going to have X effect, but then you do it and it has the opposite. Where are you then? So, are you done yet? If you are, I would say makemeday.com, and do share and like and upvote this wherever it may end up, because wow, there's nothing worse than science abuse here. So take care, and I will talk to you all soon.